In this video I'm going to talk to you about loading a caravan and getting the weight distributed correctly to enhance your safety whilst towing. If we get that weight distributed correctly, it'll enhance the stability, it'll reduce the likelihood of sway, and it will be within the legal limits. It's common for people that are new to caravanning to distribute the weight so it's evenly placed from one end of the caravan to the other, but that's not necessarily the safest way to do it. We should aim to have 60% of the loaded mass forward of the axle centre. This will give it more stability whilst it's being towed. If we get this wrong and have the weight towards the back of the caravan will swing around like a dog's tail. Before we can start loading the caravan, we need to know what the limits are. So we need to know what is the tear weight of the caravan. This is the unloaded weight of the caravan, how much it weighs with nothing in it. The next one we need to know is the ATM, or aggregate trailer mass. This is your fully loaded caravan when it's not connected to the vehicle. The next weight is what's called the GTM, or the gross trailer mass. This is your fully loaded caravan when it's connected to the vehicle. The last one we need to know is what's called the tow ball mass, or TBM, and this is the amount of weight that your caravan projects onto the vehicle when it's connected. If you want to know more about these, have a look at our video. We've got one that talks all about caravan weights. The best way to know if you're within the safe and legal limits is to get your caravan weighed. Remember, everything contributes to the weight. If you add an extra fridge, a coffee machine, an air fryer, it all adds up. My recommendation is add up everything as you add it to the caravan, which means get out your bathroom scales and add the weight of it as you place it in there. If this is your first time loading a caravan, we suggest that you get some expert advice. I've got Mark from Mobile Vehicle Weighing WA here to help answer and provide some information in relation to weight distribution. Hey Mark.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
What can you tell us, mate?
Sure. When we're determining a weight and weight distribution, the first thing we look at is the weight of your tow ball. That determines what weight is on your rear axle, which is an important aspect, but more so it will tell us how you've packed the van, whether you've gone 60-40 or whatever. We can determine that by looking at what the weight of the ball is.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. What about the axles on the caravan,
Yeah,
Mark?
sure, Mike.
What can you tell us?
Very, very important. One thing a public weighbridge won't tell you is what weight is on those two axles on a tandem van. What we need to know is whether there's equal weight on the front and the rear of the van. If we have equal weight, we're going to ground that van and we eliminate a potential pivot point. If you have a pivot point on one of those axles, the van's got a potential to sway. Additionally, if you've got too much weight on this front axle, you're going to have less weight on the ball. And if you have too much weight on this rear axle, you're going to have more weight on the ball. So we need to make sure that these things are equally grounded, and generally they are when most caravans are travelling level. So the profile of the van is very important. If your van is level, you've generally got equal weight on those two axles.
Thanks very much for that, Mark. And what about public weighbridges?
My public weighbridges are fine, but I think it's important that you get a mobile weigh person out to determine a lot of things. I mean, when I weigh, I talk about shackles, I talk about chains, I talk about tyre pressures, whereas a public weighbridge, there's no one to talk to you. Okay, you get on the weighbridge and you weigh your van. Now that's fine to go and do that. If you want to recheck your van maybe once a year when you change things, you would go to a public weighbridge. But initially, to get a full report on your van, you would get a mobile weigher out to do that. It might take about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours if a van's got problems. I like to fix them before they go away, and certainly I'll talk to the people throughout the whole process.
Thanks, Mark. And remember, if you're an RAC member, you'll get a discount if you use Mark's services. When it comes to placing heavy weights in the caravan, we want to aim to put the heavy things centrally located in the caravan over the axle centre. Avoid putting heavy things at the back of the caravan and have a moderate amount of weight at the front, so that reduces the amount of weight on your tow ball. For this trip, I'm taking an extra fridge. So I'm going to tuck it in here under the table. It's blocked at the back and the front by the seat so it won't move in those directions. I'll then secure it with a strap to the pillar of the table, and it's centrally located over the axle to help distribute the weight more effectively. Lighter items can be evenly distributed on both sides of the caravan in the storage systems fitted to it under seats and in cupboards, and that'll help to evenly balance the weight. And of course, everything needs to be secure. Now we're going to measure the tow ball mass. To do this, we use a tow ball mass scale. Ideally, we should aim to have the tow ball mass around 10% of the loaded weight of the caravan. We want to avoid overloading the caravan. To do this, if you regularly weigh it, you'll make sure it's within the legal parameters of its ATM and its GTM. We also need to make sure that we don't exceed the manufacturer's limitations on the axle weights. Understanding these basics will help you to load your caravan safely and effectively, ensuring a safer and smoother towing experience. You'll learn all these things and more in RAC's caravan safety sessions. Check the link in the description below. Safe travels.